Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another episode of Breakfast with Loki, and let's take a look at Sandy Munro's most recent rant on cost and gross margin. But before we get to that, let's check in on Loki's bed. There's Loki. Let's see if he'll eat breakfast today. Breakfast, Loki. There you go, buddy. Let me give you one of these kibbles. Have a kibble, buddy. Yes. Pretty good, right? Okay, so you can keep an eye on Loki. If he moves, I'll try to remember to move the camera with him so you can keep an eye on him. And while he's doing that, I will show you the latest rant from Sandy Munro. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, Monroe Live, join the 345,000 subscribers. Sandy already has. And I guess he saw some back-of-the-napkin math from a few parties that he didn't think was very accurate. So this is Sandy's reaction video to that. I've picked out just a few of the time clips from here. You can see by looking at the time scrubber. This will not be... I'm not going to show you the whole 19-minute, 53-second video from Sandy Munro. But I have picked out a couple of places that I wanted to comment. Watch the whole video if you're interested in it. And I'll start with this first clip about the purpose of making the video. This is about a 1-minute clip.
I don't like to be told that really I don't know what I'm talking about. Or let me rephrase that. We don't know what we're talking about. And this is regarding the Tesla, the Tesla drop in price. So what I want to do is I want to discuss a little bit about how we get what we get. This, and this, and this,
and more.
And there's two more of these things. I couldn't find them. But anyways, there's two more of these things. And if you look inside, guess what? I have the price of every detail, every screw, every nut, bolt, little teeny tiny plastic injection molding, castings.
Every chip. This is an actual, we look at each board and look at every chip to do a bill of material for all the circuit boards as well.
So you can see Sandy and his team are doing the work. They know what's the cost of all the stuff that goes into the parts because they buy the cars, they tear them down, and they figure out what the cost is for every single item in the vehicle. So let's skip ahead to 3:57, which is my next timestamp, and we'll play you another clip from here.
We have everything. When we give you a number, it's dead accurate. There's no room for anything, for any kind of a wiggle, and we do it in a conservative way. In other words, we know that Tesla is getting aluminum cheaper than everybody else. And the reason for that is because a long time ago, they made deals with the aluminum companies, and they use special aluminums, aluminums that only have their alloys in them. However, in order to keep it light and lively, we kind of like use what you can get off of the normal aluminum that would be sold.
All right, so just a little insight on Tesla aluminum. Let me skip forward to 6:15. We'll catch another clip here. I thought it was interesting that he talked about Tesla getting a good deal on aluminum by strategic price negotiation, locking in a price over the long term. That's smart if you're going to buy a whole lot of aluminum, as Tesla does.
So we look at these numbers and we say, okay, Tesla sold a vehicle for $49,000. Okay, that's what the sticker price is. But Tesla gets extra revenue. If you want to buy full self-driving, that's another 10 grand.
15 grand.
15 grand now. 15 grand. That's clean, pure profit. Does that show up in the sale? No, it doesn't.
Well, so I had to show you that clip because the approach that Sandy Munro takes is he tears down the vehicle, he looks at the costs, and he builds up the cost from the ground up, right? So that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is a top-down approach where you see what financials are being reported by the company, and then try to push it down from there to figure out, well, okay, what granular assumptions would make sense to kick out that result. And Loki was a good boy, so I'm going to give him a milk bone. Without losing my train of thought, let me push this camera back over where it came from and give Loki his milk bone. Okay. So I had to stop the clip there because yes, it does show up in the sale, Sandy. It doesn't show up on the sticker of the car, right? So I'm not even sure there are stickers on like the front windshield of Teslas anywhere because they're selling orders that people bought online. But that's way, way off the point. The point is, yeah, Tesla's advertising cars for 49 grand or whatever, and then if you want to buy the full self-driving package to go with that, it'll cost you an extra $15,000. That revenue flows through to the bottom line at 100% profit, is Sandy's point. Is that getting reported? Yes, it definitely is. Both the revenue and the profit are being reported by Tesla. They're part of the total. And then you have to dig into, all right, well, what must the take rate have been in order for there to have been only this much revenue and only this much profit? Because it's a lot less than 100%. It's still a slim minority of buyers who are buying the full self-driving package up front. Most people who buy a Tesla aren't yet buying the full self-driving package. Maybe in a few years that's going to change. But I guess I should just advance to the next clip and keep this video rolling.
Range rear-wheel drive, pre-heat pump. And then we have a 33% gross margin on a 2022 Model Y with a heat pump. That's based on a vehicle price that's in line with the price cuts.
Yeah, yes, exactly right. So we look at that and we say, okay, that's that's the first number. And 31 and 33% is the first number. The second number is, what's the add-on, the second bite of the apple, and in some cases a third and fourth bite of the apple that Tesla gets and nobody else gets? 15 plus a couple of grand, plus a couple of grand, plus a couple of grand, and there's no cost in here, none whatsoever. Elon puts out a little tweet and says, hey, you want to get full self-driving, it costs this much. You want to get this, want to get that, it costs this much. Want to get some of these features and functions, want to get some of the swag that comes along with it, this much, that much. Who gets that? Nobody. Nobody.
All right, so I thought that was a good clip. Acceleration boost would be another good one. You know, track mode is a feature that you get if you buy the performance version of Model S or Model 3 or Model Y. So yeah, some good stuff like that where, yeah, Tesla can charge you more for it and it just flows through the bottom line as pure profit. But again, it's getting reported in the financial statements. Let me move over to the Tesla financial statements. This is the most recently reported. Well, you can't see the last column very well. Okay, that's better. So in this video, Sandy talks about 31, 33% gross margins. Those look pretty good versus what Tesla has been reporting in recent quarters. Q2 was a little lower than that, but Q2 had that problem where Shanghai wasn't able to contribute as many of the vehicles produced, and they have a lower cost per vehicle, so that explains Q2. Q3, about the same automotive gross margins, so none of these are 40%. Now, that's not to say that Tesla isn't making 40% gross margins. Some of the time, they are on the vehicles where people are buying full self-driving, spending a lot of money on all the bells and whistles. They're making more than 40% gross margin on those sales, but those are a minority of sales. And when you do the weighted average, you add everything up and you look at what the fraction is, it's more like 30% than 40%. And don't expect for that to improve from there. You can see there's an adjusted EBITDA margin shown here as well. That's in the low 20s. The operating margin, income from operations, is lower than that, as you would expect, a little less than 20%. So sometimes Sandy gets a little carried away, imagining that the reported numbers are going to be higher than they are in total. And that's why you need a big spreadsheet, or at least that's why I need a big spreadsheet to keep all this stuff straight. It's hard to do the mental math. It's hard to remember to do everything. So Sandy and I both believe in doing a lot of work and looking at a lot of detail. I'm just emphasizing the importance of checking your work against the reported financial statements to make sure that you believe in the granular detail that you would need to make the totals tie. And that's coming from a finance background, having a professional interest and experience in tying out the numbers to make sure that the detail agrees to the totals. And I'll fast forward again to 11:06, and that'll be the last clip from this video that we watch. Right here.
This is the best move that Tesla could possibly make. They will annihilate their competition.
Talking about the recent price cuts.
Because their cars are cheaper than anybody else can make them, and now they're cheaper than that. How is anybody going to be able to compete? At the end of the day, the 40% is what I'm going to roll with, because I believe that that's probably what they're going to have, maybe even more than that.
I will take the under, Sandy, respectfully. I will take the under on 40% gross margin. I hope to be wrong about that. I hope you're right and I'm wrong. But my forecast has a number a lot lower than 40% in it. Let me see what I have. So I've got a similar number to Sandy for the base configuration Model Y. If you remember what he said, that was, we both think it's $39,500-ish, somewhere in that range. But if I roll on down to about row 1180 in my model, let's see here. So I've got gross margin in Q4 of 23, 24, 26, 28, 30 for next year. Then at the operating margin line, 17, 16, 17, 20, 23, 25, something like that. So closer to Sandy's number on the operating margin, but not for the next couple of quarters that Tesla will report. This one they'll report in less than a week, and that one they'll report, 90 days from now-ish. Something like that. And I'll play the end of the video, and we will outro.
And I believe that if they don't make 20%, actually on that, that they might make even more, like 22, 23%.
Now, I have a
net
question.
Profit.
Net profit, 22%. Yep. So I agree with Sandy, and I thought that would be a pretty good place to end the video. So let's check back in with the Loki's bed cam and see that Loki has decided to lay down and take a nap following breakfast. And with that, I will say, if you've enjoyed today's video, click the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, why not go ahead and subscribe to my channel? And check out the links in my video description if you feel like supporting my channel, as executive producers Kathy Kitchler and Halter Ferguson Financial did by joining my YouTube channel at the highest support tier. And I will see you in the next one.